Hey everybody, it's Jay and Nick, and we are not back from Barber. We hella did not go to Barber.
Hell
no. No, but Phil was there, and we said, hey Phil, just give us a couple of lines, tell us, what we got to do for the wrap-up, send us the footage. So Phil gave us a couple of lines. Yeah. So we're going to see what we can do about that. So getting started, Nick, you want to talk about the Grassroots Miata?
Yeah, so as you guys know at this point, the automotive journalist community, not good at journalism, not good at automobiles.
Or driving.
Grassroots Motorsports have a yellow Miata that they've built up, and they've chronicled it in their magazine about this is our, crappy race car for LeMons. This time, these guys actually did pretty darn well. They were running the top 10 all weekend. They had some minor issue at the end, dropped them to, I think, 11th, which still, in the grand scheme of things...
For automotive journalism, that is Mario Andretti.
Spectacular.
Very well done, guys. So I'm just going to read some of these directly from Phil. Car number 19, White Pinto. We had two Pintos in this race. They didn't do much other than be Pintos.
Now, the Triumph Spitfire is a terrible automobile, as you know, and we've seen just one in LeMons until now. This was the second Spitfire we've ever seen in LeMons. They had some sort of a hard rock theme with a wing and guitars and keyboards and stuff on the car. And the big highlight for them in the weekend was they're driving along, and some real racy guy in a neon is coming up. He's going 10 tenths, and he taps the back of the Spitfire and totally wipes out. Neon is totaled. Spitfire, not a scratch on it.
He drives away. Oh, yeah. So Three Pedal Mafia, longtime team, they did a theme. Phil Graydon wrote a porn novel.
True
10
story.
years ago, true story. Apparently the best-selling porn novel in England in 2004. Anyway, they got a copy of it, they read it, they did their whole theme as the characters from Torment Incorporated by Merle Martin, a.k.a. Phil Graydon. And I think they won their class? No, they lost.
Oh.
Yeah.
So as you may or may not know or remember, Toyota, for the Long Beach Grand Prix in California, they've always done this support race called the Long Beach Celebrity Grand Prix, where they take a bunch of celebrities
B and C, D list.
Yeah, and they put them in Toyota Celicas and they drive around the street circuit in Long Beach. Now, Dodge, Chrysler, being Chrysler, they have this bootleg version of what's already kind of a questionable event. And instead
Kind of reminds you of something, doesn't it?
And instead of Jason Priestley driving a Toyota Celica, they've got frickin' Dodge Daytonas. So I'm just gonna read Phil's take. Number 46, Black Dodge Daytona. This is one of the cars from the Dodge International Star Challenge. This car was the one driven by Don Dokken of f***ing Dokken fame, man. This car sucked ass in our race, of course. It did some laps, it cooked the brakes, it broke some stuff, the team packed up and went home. But, f***ing Dokken.
So Phil's got a thing here about Johan's miserable Beetle. It's really long and it boils down to, however, drinking hanging out with Johan was fun as always.
You should put your engine here. Then maybe you'll be as fast as the Beetle.
Number 59, Studebaker Silverhawk. A frickin' Studebaker.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously brought by NSF Racing.
Yeah, who else?
Sat in a Florida swamp since 1984. Fairly recent, actually, all things considered. Obviously was not in very good shape. So Bob Mitchell managed to keep the normal characters that usually hang out and freeload at NSF headquarters away from this build. So actually, the roll cage and prep seemed pretty good.
Yeah.
It's all relative. Of course, the fuel system didn't work. I don't think he did any maintenance on the thing aside from beating on the fuel tank with a big rock. But it was driving along, crap it out, making Jeff in the tower all mad. So after this repeated string of breaking down, getting towed off the track, dumping all of this rusty, chunky sludge out of their fuel system, they decided, let's actually try to sit down and fix this thing. So they rigged together 37 fuel filters in a line, and by Sunday, the thing was actually pretty consistent, and it ran so well that we gave it the index of efficiency.
The Team Fairly Lame, they've got a 64 Ford Fairlane. They blew up their motor, and as Phil describes it, in the middle of the night, they go out in the middle of nowhere in Alabama, right? The one place they can find another motor is a Nazi compound, a Nazi survivalist compound. Phil insists that there are pictures of like Goebbels on the wall and stuff like this. They like knock on the door at midnight, and the guy with a Luger is on them. They say, "Oh man, we just want the motor, we just came for the motor." So they got the engine. They did not take pictures because they said the guy threatened to shoot them if they took pictures of the Nazi compound. They got it back, and not surprisingly, didn't work. So I think that was the "they got screwed by Nazis" trophy.
Yes, I got screwed by the Nazi junkyard.
Yeah. The Knox Vegas Lowballers. These guys always bring fabulous stuff. They've got great decorations, great theme. They actually drive pretty well. So they got 3 cars, a Sable, they got a mid-engine Metro, and they got a twin-engine Mazda MPV minivan with 5 speeds on both ends and a single crazy-ass Rube Goldberg thing. Thing actually kind of worked. Best of all, though, as if that weren't good enough, best of all, they did a fabulous 2-car, super groovy 70s minivan theme, complete with lemon-shaped bubble windows in the back. I just thought that was spectacular.
Now, Moro's Racing, another legendary LeMons team.
It's kind of a clash with the Titans.
Yeah. So he decides he's going to recreate the famous Pontiac Banshee concept car. So at the time in the 60s? Yeah. At the time in the 60s when this Pontiac Banshee would come out, John DeLorean, was the head of the Pontiac division at General Motors. So, of course, Dave's Pontiac Banshee replica, which has a BMW chassis, the correct Pontiac overhead cam 6-cylinder engine,
and
an Opel GT body, of course. So they added on this theme of John DeLorean getting busted by the feds for having a whole bunch of coke. So the whole thing was just very, very excellent, and it won nothing.
Yeah, just goes to show you.
Moro's Racing won Class C. Jay and Nick are not liable for any inaccuracies.
Now, apparently there's this really famous commercial around that area called Victory Auto Wreckers. I don't know, some guy, he opens up the car door and the door falls off. Whatever. Phil says, okay, new penalty. Everybody's got to recreate that ad.
Why is my car such a lemon?
Oh, God, why?
The heroic fix was a little different for this race. We had guys doing the usual engine transmission swaps and stuff. This guy approached his challenge a little bit differently. He showed up on Friday, had no driver's license.
No, he had a driver's license. It expired the day before.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So he says, well, I gotta go to the DMV, and he's from 4 states away. So he drives back to Carbondale, Illinois.
400 miles each way.
Yeah, from Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
Gets his license and falls asleep in the parking lot of the DMV, spends the night there, wakes up the next morning, drives the 400 miles back, and shows his license, it's valid, he gets to race. Heroic.
All right, so amazingly, I think we've gone through all of this stuff, so here's Lemons in a nutshell.
Is it supposed to do that? Yeah, no, it's not.